in comparison to their Belgian counterparts.
59.
If you look at it on paper from yesterday, England averaged higher in both counts in
140, Belgium require 80.
Checkout percentages and the running average. They were 5 points higher. And you really, this is great stuff from the Belgians.
And out for this particular pair. They did have an average of 91.42 yesterday, but they could be heading into different stratospheres here. They could head level on points of England if Roman could have found that double eight, not to be on this occasion. And so for Mervyn King, he's going to have to find this 156 just to save the contest.
And you feel that Merv's been doing the work in this one as well, haven't you? And
99.
Maybe that was a stretch too far, but big darts now for Zanti.
Game
he takes it as well. Lovely opening match there from the Belgians. Really hit the ground running today on day 2 here at Group A. And look, you can see they're both absolutely over the moon with that.
Leave his partner on a 2 darter. May just be a dart at the bullseye at the back end of the 84, but it's an opportunity nonetheless for Hendo to
88. Scotland require 84.
Put Scotland on top in this contest. He's going to get the bonus of 2 in his hand, a double 12. First graces the wire. The second
60.
moves the other side.
Wales, you require 85.
So a chance here for Wales then. Should get a dart at the ball.
Game
Richie Burnett. Yes, please, he says. Fist pump.
To be, but he's got plenty of time on site.
60.
But there's maybe not a guarantee of anything on the back of the 92, and that can't be pressurised by Scott Campbell.
$39. Wales, you require 92.
So for the match, Kurt Parry comes back for 92 for Wales. Treble 16, leads himself double 12, which he pins perfectly. And Wales keep up their perfect streak in this Group A. I suppose with the truncated format and you only play the odd couple of games, there's experience on the stage, but there's not vast amounts of experience on the stage. And there's a feeling that they will learn a lot more from this week than perhaps they would from any other experience than they've had in the game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And like I say, they just didn't hit the ground running how they wanted to yesterday. And
game shot on the first leg.
That doesn't help matters either. A nice little 120 for Jimmy Van
Second against Gibraltar to throw
the guys from Gibraltar doing nothing wrong again. Galliano, well done, my friend.
Well, Gibraltar have been given opportunities to move 2-1 in front and get the break. They haven't taken them, and Van Tripe pins the double 5 to make them pay for it. And Danny, it's just hit the television. Big news back on the rock. That would be big news when the Kenyans turn up here later on in the week. But this game could be over very quickly because Van Schie has found a Mac to leave his partner on double 19. And Justin Hewitt here has to find the 149. And he just stopped in motion just as he looked as if he was in full throw. And so Danny Van Tripe here, double 19 to wrap this game up. He's going to get one more double. He didn't like that first dart at all, did he? And he won't like that one. And he's just opened up the door here for Craig Galliano to bring it back to 3-2.
Game show on the 5th leg.
And taken clinically by Craig. Break back 3-2. We return to throw.
6th leg against Gibraltar to throw first. Game on.
We went and won the Dutch Open first time out. First time and last time we ever played together. He always had a regular partner. 60. I had a regular partner, but just worked out on that day we didn't have one. Started off like a house on fire. We went on and won the whole thing. And never played pairs together again.
Well, this Dutch duo looking to wrap this game up here and now. 120 is awkward for Jim because there is so much tungsten in the way of this double top. And it would have been to have bookended the game with 120 finishes. Now, Gibraltar are going to get a chance here, and Galliano's going to come back to the board to force the last leg decider. And he's going to get a dart at the bull. He's going to get the bull.
The sick flag.
Gallant from Galliano. And we're going to go all the way. And credit goes where credit's due, because on the first day, Gibraltar at times were pulled from pillar to post, but their reaction from the adversity of Monday.
But with Gibraltar back on
95.
175, they will get another attempt at this double 15.
20.
Strange. Maybe he thought that was blocked. I don't know. But then tend it up, and now they're left on the dodgy double 5. Galliano, he hit the bullseye last time. Can he hit the tops for their first win?
40.
He can't. He can't. He's choked in the moment.
And so it's 10. On the hefty shoulders of Jimmy van Schie here for the Dutch. Double 5 to complete a 4-3 success. Gibraltar had a dart to win it. Are they going to get more? It's double 2, one left in hand. But Jimmy van Schie eventually holds it together. And the Dutch keep themselves on the coattails of Wales. But boy, did they have to work hard for it. Full credit to Gibraltarian pair by Craig Galliano and Justin Hewitt there. A real upturn in performance for them. Leave his partner John Henderson with 60 in hand to move one up.
100. Scotland, you require 60.
Double 10 for Hendo.
50.
And because it doesn't go, England too have been pretty much passengers in this leg, have an opportunity to nick the throw, and King is looking at 84 to do exactly that. He's looking at 2 in his hand, a double 12. It's now double 6.
Game
in it
goes.
goes.
The first leg
And
to England.
Mervyn King moves a leg to the good. Largest town is Warrington, home of the world champ, Luke Littler.
140. Scotland to require 124.
John 18 for the ball. Bullseye it is. And it would have been for the second ton plus check out of the day.
England to require 78.
So double top.
Game shot
to put England's noses back in front again to get a crucial break, and Mervyn King will return to the board now to throw for the match and to throw for a crucial victory.
Require 148.
So Scotland to save it, looking at 148. Another for Hendo. It's found. It's double 14. It's almost there.
120. England to require 96.
Magic attempt from Henderson to save the match. Treble 17 would have saved the situation
36.
for Westy, but it means
28.
that Campbell comes back for 28. And it's a side of the board that he actually prefers, which is very unusual for the left-hander. The left-hander usually likes the right-hand side of the board.
7 from final leg. It's Scotland to throw first.
But I know that Scott Campbell prefers the left-hand side.
Well, the latest to be defeated by Wales. But Campbell here in a good position to try and set things up. John Henderson's nodding his head in the background. Steve West is shaking his. And that is as to why. Because that is a perfect time for Max to leave John Henderson in suit upon his return to seal a 4-3 win.
59. Scotland to require 64.
And they've got 6. They've got time. But Henderson ruthlessly gets the job done with his first dart. And for Scotland, they get the better of England in a last leg decider. They're on the board. As for Steve West and Mervyn King, yet to pick up a point today.
You require 100.
Population of 11,000.
Belgium, you require 24.
Well, that is a small city.
But only 400 residents in its centre.
Game shown the third leg to Belgium.
Nicely tidied there from Zanti. Made a bit of a meal of it.
84. I
think the Gibraltar pair have just ran out of a little bit of steam here.
100.
Probably accepted of their fate, which could be sealed here if Brian O'Man can find a split on double 12 and pins it perfectly. And for Belgium, it's the perfect start. 2 wins from 2.
Out on the Pro Tours, well, I suppose difficult to miss out on the Pro Tours if you want to go to Blackpool.
I suppose a lot dictates on whereabouts you are. Now, Jimmy Van Schie has had a bit of a mathematical meltdown. He thought he wanted double 12. He thought Danny Van Truyck left in 24. And he's telling his teammate, well, I left you double 18, pal, because you like it that much. And now you've burnt a dart. But the consequence of that is he's now blocked the double 12. How does he find this?
30.
Well, that's going to go down
157
as one of the outtakes of the year.
It was the way that Danny looked at him. It was the funniest thing. Go, what are you doing, mate? It's now down to Van Truyck to try and get him out of it.
4.
And he hasn't done it. And they're
36.
1 up on the top of the table. What a time to make that mistake.
Game shot on the second leg to Wales.
Well, the misses are beginning to rack up for both sides. One for make the pair in terms of their doubling. And Tripe will come back for 3 more double 8 to move his side halfway
40.
towards victory.
The Netherlands require 16.
It's a nice marker. Too far inside, switches
Game
across the
shot
fours.
the third leg. The Netherlands.
Now let's go 2-1 up. It's a break of throw. Probably darting history. Every time he gets knocked down, he gets back up and comes back fighting even harder than before.
Bullseye for parry. Bullseye found perfectly right in the middle of the bed. And that could be a real tight turner because the Dutch are coming back for 70 to throw for the match. But consequently now, Jimmy Van Schie heads to the hockey, throwing to save their skins.
140. Netherlands require 32.
Double 8. And this could be awkward.
16.
Because of the flight of Dart 1 and Dart 2 being in the way.
Yeah, it was really awkward, wasn't it? You could see by the reaction from Burnett there, he really fancied that.
68. The Netherlands requires 16.
2 8s for JVS. Double 4.
Game shot
is taken, and we are taking the distance in this one.
7th and final leg, it's Wales to throw first. Game on.
Crucial leg. If Wales win this one, they move 4 points clear at the top of the group. And Kurt Parry has got them off to the perfect start. If the Dutch can find a way through, then it is as you were, 12 points apiece. The top 2 in the table.
$60. 95. $180.
Well, Kurt Parry, 2 scoring visits in this leg have been 180. And he has set Richie Burnett up beautifully to round it off with a potential 11 dart leg. He'll head treble 15 with the first dart. And he'll find the treble 10. It's not an disaster. He's going to give himself a dart in his hand at double top.
41.
Just above the white.
Netherlands record 167.
Well, for the Dutch, they valiantly worked their way back into the contest. They leave themselves handy on a double.
40.
Ironically, double 18. But Kurt Parry to bring the curtain down. He was perfect in that leg. His 3 scoring turns were 180, 180, and double top with his first dart in hand. A 13 darter for the Welsh, and they move 4 points clear at the top of this Group A, and they move in cruise control of this Group A. And Richie Burnett, well, he's enjoying life.
Gibraltar require 140.
Could this be the one that gets them up and rolling? Not to be this time. So you've got to be thinking 100 at the minimum requirement here.
60. Scotland require 110.
Treble 18 would have left the double. Now, we mentioned in the previous leg a miss of the big number.
80.
Gibraltar can ill afford that here. 2 straight darts will give them an opportunity at tops. Well, the treble gives 2 at double 10. Now double 5 has to head back and compose himself here, Justin Hewitt. And then hit it.
The second leg.
And level up
Gibraltar.
for the Gibraltarian pair.
5. Scotland require 40.
2 things have happened. Scotland have just began to put their foot on the gas, and Gibraltar have just began to run out of it. Or run out of it, shall I say. It's 2 10s.
30.
It's inside, but Gibraltar, because of a slip for the last dart to the single 5, aren't on a finish.
$99. Scotland require 10.
A little of pressure applied and asserted. Hendo back for double 5.
Game shot on the 4th leg.
And that's the way he likes to go.
Campbell and Henderson have got time and space to see it through. 9 darts on 136.
$96.
Well, this has been a compare and contrast performance here from Scotland, because they've had a couple of really good legs and a couple of really ropey ones. And it looks like they're going to finish with one of the better ones. Henderson tops to win it. Top's got, and they complete it with a 13 dart leg. And for Gibraltar, that losing run goes on. But they're showing signs that they're trending in the right direction.
Wales require 91.
Well, Wales here with 6 darts on 91. Now 5 darts of 89.
$31.
Well, Richie's having a real pep talk with himself
95. Wales
in the background as Parry comes back for 60 to open up a 2-leg gap.
Game shot on the 4th leg.
I tell you what, he's playing well today, Kurt Parry. Very well indeed. See that a little bit here.
$162. England have 139.
Nicely done there by Parry. Just reiterating what you said, Henry. He's been playing well today.
Game shot on the 5th leg.
Well, that
to England.
It's simply out the blue from simply Steve West. Mervyn King as stunned as anybody it's gone.
Flair gets Wales to throw first.
But those are the types of touches of class that Steve West still has in abundances. It hasn't quite gone the English pair's way, but they still have those glimmers of quality. But Kurt Parry is not missing anything.
England to record 161.
Well, Parry's left on 96. The way he's playing is very much makeable. Steve West in the previous they took out a 139. He's not going to follow up the 161, is he? He was a coat of paint away from doing so.
Require 96. $44. England to require 25.
Richie Burnett couldn't believe that didn't go. King looking at double 8.
He was only just in the 9, wasn't he?
Game shot.
But now he's in the double 4.
To England.
Before you know it, we've gone from 3-1 to 3-3. You have to say the momentum's with England here, and so is the darts.
England to throw first. Game on.
What are they doing? Wales on Wales here.
Wales, you require 107.
If this goes, expect a reaction for both sides of the coin. But Burnett isn't going to bag the big fish.
$105. England, you require 120.
It's a good setup from Burnett. I think he's going to have to go back across from where he usually throws from. This one for the match.
100.
Clipped the barrel and diverted
Wales,
the other side.
65.
And this is to keep the Welsh winning streak going for 8 in a row. Double top for Kurt Parry. 2 10s is not there.
45.
A hit for the wire, the meagre
England to require
difference.
20.
And so Steve West now shoulders the responsibility for England, and he pins the double 5
to England
to seal a 4-3 success. And it means for the first time this week the Welsh are defeated. It just opens up the door for the Dutch duo of Jimmy van Schie and Danny van Tripe, but it also helps England's hopes of getting into Group B come Thursday and Friday evening. Embrace between the duo Steve West and Mervyn King as they get over the line.
You seem to have a break, and you then start playing well again at the tail end of another year. It's very difficult, particularly with the players around in this day and age, that it's very difficult to stay as consistent as you want to be and continue to win, because there are so many players doing that level.
Double top.
Game shot on the 4th.
Beautifully taken from Danny van Tripe. A beautiful leg from the Dutch.
Netherlands, you record 121.
Too much now to overpower this Belgian duo.
65.
Well, it was a dozen darts in the previous leg. Could be a potential 14 to
54.
round it off. And
Netherlands,
it's
you
going to
require
be
56.
Jimmy van Schie with the responsibility. Double top.
Game
Completes a 4-1 win in some style. A 12 darter followed by a 14 darter in the final couple of legs, and Danny van Tripe points his hand towards the Dutch flag, playing for their nation, playing for their shirt, playing for their flag, and playing with pride.
When we knew that he was giving his tour card back, it was one that was always being asked, and he's been here and performed.
81.
So yes, we can understand the interest in having Adrian here.
60. England, you require 100.
Well, England outweighing Gibraltar in this leg by a ratio of 3-1. Tots to West. Oh, what a leg. What a start.
To England.
A ton check out. Tots for Steve West, and England
Second
have got
against
themselves
Gibraltar
up and
to
running, and they've set their stall out from the get-go.
England, you require 24.
Well, this has been special so far from this England pairing, and it looks like the duo of Galliano and Hewitt are just kind of standing in the background and appreciating what their opponents are doing right. But I just wonder whether Mervyn was contemplating one or two things. Saw Galliano and Hewitt were 140, decided to persevere with the double 3. This could get a little bit sticky potentially. If Hewitt can find a ton, things do get interesting, but he's unable to do
England
so.
require 3. Game show on the third leg.
What are you talking about? Get
to
sticky.
England.
Not a problem. Westie's in the mood today to sort things out.
England require 82.
101.16 is the average of Steve West and Mervyn King combined. And combined, they have been a step apart, this pair.
34.
A bullseye for the match has come and gone.
You require 154.
Craig Galliano here is looking at 154 to save this match. He's not going to, and so Steve West to bring the curtain down.
$132. England require 48.
So, for a 4-0 win. And a comprehensive one at that. Double 10 is found.
The match to England.
And England there were just a class apart. Steve West and Mervyn King, you felt they found their X factor, found their A game, are going to be very difficult to dislodge this week.
Now.
Are you sure talking about other people apart from yourself, Scotty?
140.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, Campbell and Henderson looking at 115.
Scotland
They're going to get time on their side, the Scottish duo, to take the opening leg. Double 20 leaves double 18. Double 18 it is. Double 18 that's got. And the Scots are off to a flying start. A dozen darter. Double 16 here.
38.
But Scott Campbell
Netherlands
unable to
require
apply
36.
the finishing touches, and so Van Schie will come back. Double 18 to level this game up at 2 apiece.
Nice marker. Just a touch inside. Once again, just a touch inside.
Scotland
So,
require 32.
are we seeing a little bit of mental frailty here with the Dutch?
Game show on the 4th flag.
Well, if there is, Scotland are taking full advantage of it.
And require 129.
So 129 for the combination of Campbell and Henderson. Henderson at the board. Double 20 pull for the match. Not to be on this occasion.
Took go treble 17 here.
40. The Netherlands require 106.
Well, this is a Hail Mary effort.
66.
And it's not going to be taken for Van Schie.
Scotland
And for
require
Wales,
89.
this could be the perfect storm because they could have seen themselves overhauled by the Dutch at the top of the group. But if Scott Campbell can pin this double 16, their lead will remain intact, and the gains that the Dutch made will be in vain. And for the Scottish pair of Scott Campbell and John Henderson, it's a win which puts them on to 8 points, puts them hot on the coattails of this English pair of Steve West and Mervyn King. Beautiful camaraderie between all 4 players on the stage. Double 10.
30.
Doesn't go, and it could be awkward for
Belgium
Bennett if he
require
returns.
144. And
And that's all dependent on what Janty Vandenberg can do here with a 144. Previous leg, he went 18 to this. We'll persevere with it again. And so Bennett back for double 5 to stretch the lead to 3.
Wales, you require 10. Game show on the 3rd leg.
He said he was there to
Wales.
tidy things up for his younger partner, and that's exactly what he's done, giving it
4th leg against
stability.
Belgium. Wales, you require 122.
Well, plenty of time here for Kurt Parry for the 1-2-2, which is why he began with the 25.
62.
He'll return for 60 to get this done for Zip.
60. Wales requires 60.
For the match and for a resounding victory, the Prince of Wales leads the line and leads his country to a 4-0 success against the Belgians. But Janty van den Berg and Brian Roman, they're going to have to find something in the final game of the day. Just looked like a little bit of tiredness, maybe a little bit of ring rust creeping in. And Richie Burnett, well, he's having plenty of fun. Out of context, Richie Burnett. Well, Owen Binks is enjoying it. 2 fours. Down for double 2.
4. The Netherlands require 36. Game shot the second leg.
Well, the 1-0 becomes a 2-0, and that's a break of foe for the Netherlands. I can see these two being a pair where maybe you just got to let them have their 5 minutes.
180.
But once those 5 minutes are up, right as rain. That's the feeling I get from these two, Steve and Merv.
100.
They won't be shy in telling each other what they think, but then once it's said, it's done. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Oh, boy.
180.
Well, this is a place where history gets made. Fallon Sherritt became the first ever female player to hit a 9 darter in front of the cameras. Are we going to see a doubles 9 darter here? Mervyn King has got the responsibility on his shoulders. He's 2 darts away, but he doesn't get it.
89.
Great attempt. Great attempt. 7 in.
60. England require 52. Game show on the third
12
leg.
dart are all the same.
To England.
Well, before dart was thrown, these were the 2 nations that were being tipped up the most.
85. The Netherlands require
And
126.
they're giving us quite the spectacle thus far. Van Tryp looking at 126. He's treble 19 here to give himself a dart at the ball for a 3-1 lead.
58.
And the bullseye might be all that's left
90.
for Mervyn King here at the back end of this 90 to level up at 2-2. Remember, England were 2 down. But they're not behind any longer. Have a look at that for a bullseye. And have a look at that for a response. England were 2-0 down. The Dutch were flying. They went 7 into the 9 in the leg before. The 15 darter there pinned on the bullseye. And we are back level at 2-2.
Like I said, I've known him a long, long time since the youth days in Holland and going around Holland. And there was always youth tournaments at all the WDF events. And Jimmy was at some of them. And as was Marvin, and as was a few of the other guys that have been here.
140. England requires 64.
Well, this to wrap up a 4-2 win, and it would mean that England would be level on 12 points. In fact, if they could take it out in this particular leg, they'll leapfrog the Dutch overnight. Double 16 for the combo of King and West, sending the Dutch hopes south.
Wales requires 73.
Suppose less teddy bear, more speaker, isn't it? Well, I suppose we now know who's going to play him in the film. Rowan Atkinson.
The Richie Burnett
41.
story. Some story that would be.
27.
And game. Number 19 would have left the bullseye for the Hinks. Spectated on by Binks.
Requires 32. Game show on the fourth
Parry
leg.
finds the 32 and Wales find themselves 3-1 in front. Well, the Welsh here have an opportunity to round this one up, or round this one off, shall I say, once and for all.
59.
But Craig looking to apply pressure this 118. There is a susceptibility here. And I tell you what, credit where credit's due. This leg has taken a different complexion. And there's now an air of must hit about this 118. But it's Burnett. Well, the double 18 needs double 11. Everybody's finding the funny side of this. But it's Richie Burnett that's going to have the last laugh.
2-0.
Well, that's a touch of class to finish off. Gibraltar rallied and rallied, but the Welsh just proved too strong. And they are going to have a 6-point lead at the top of the Group A table. To level up. Double 8. Just
No
below.
score. Scotland you require 52.
That's the score right back. A little unfortunate there for Roman.
44. Belgium you require 112.
Man looks up to the heavens. And he knows because he missed on the double 16. He had to go back to the start and he was unable to make any inroads. And so this to re-establish the 2-leg gap.
Game show on the 4 flag.
Henderson eventually finds the double 2. 3-1 Scotland. 1-2-9 for Campbell and Henderson. Double 20 for the ball. Not to be. And so Roman here to extend this game, looking at 1-1-8.
89. Belgium you require 118.
See, one of those mischievous moods. It was a Hail Mary attempt. But this to round it off. John Henderson, double top for 4-1 win. 2 10s. Seals it. And seals victory for Scotland in the final game of the day. For Wales, they have a 6-point lead over both England and the Netherlands. Scotland have put themselves in the race for a Group B position on 10 points, whilst it looks like for Belgium and Gibraltar, particularly Gibraltar, now mathematically cannot qualify for any other group than Group C. It looks like a Thursday and Friday afternoon stint for them.